Okay, so today I'm going to read a poem called Painted Masks by Danielle Matesich. She's a friend of mine. Many of you may know her on Facebook. I'll tag her in the post when I post it. She mentioned she wrote it when she was a good deal younger, and it is fairly short. It's 8 lines. And in my opinion, it's very, very beautiful. And I love simplicity like this. I wrote a poem myself, short and simple, that I'm just like, wow, I can appreciate a thing in its simplicity. So I'm going to read this, and then I have a few personal comments. My personal take on the poem is very straightforward, but my personal take on the subject, while I'll keep it short, is a bit more detailed. So this is Painted Masks by Danielle Matesich. If ebony is blasphemy, and white the shade of grace, why then is this symbolized upon the human face? When painted masks are torn from men, true colors set aglow. Ivory turns to coal dust, and ebony to snow. It's funny, I only noticed on this reading live that she asks, why then is this symbolized upon the human face? And, you know, for me, right, so we go, if ebony is blasphemy and white the shade of grace. So these are concepts we have, and whether they have stemmed from skin color historically, I would think not. They may have become so over time and in different areas, not for everyone in all places or all cultures or all systems, but at times. Why then is this symbolized upon the human face? So on the one hand, you could take that and go, why do we take it as a mental construct and put it on the human face and say, this is blasphemy and this is grace, and that's our ideas about a person? So that's interesting that she asked that question. And then it finishes, when painted masks are torn from men, true colors set aglow, ivory turns to coal dust, and ebony to snow. And obviously, I mean, my own personal beliefs, and I'm pretty certain Danielle's as well, are the individual, the being themselves, is not, that's not skin or bodies or anything, is not really germane to the actual nature of a person. It's a construct, it's created. Same way with concepts of blasphemy and grace. These things are decided or, assigned. And so when you take those things away, you're left with same or similar. What's interesting to me, my own personal commentary on it is that these things, these concepts of blasphemy and grace, what's good, what's bad, skin color, assignments of, assumption of an identity of a beingness, they're all games, conditions of games. They're all they're all things that we then interpose, and what's interesting is, to me, is people can assign cause to these things. The reason I'm in the position I'm in is because I'm a white male. So that assigns cause to that. The reason I'm in the position I'm in is because, and you can name your identity, name your culture, name your gender, name your whatever, and it assigns cause to that thing. And a person could go, well, it is cause of, because people respond in such a way. And look, I'm not here to comment and take away anyone's game. But I do feel like what you put your attention on, you get more of. So for me, a person might go, you're in a privileged position. You're a white male and you're affluent and you have these privileges. You have these things in society. And you know what my comment is? Nothing at all. No comment. I'm not going to accept. I'm not going to reject. And I would that's my recommendation for anyone else. Now, don't like that. That's my recommendation, specifically and especially to those who maybe someone is living the life of, my game is the exploration of race and gender or culture and creed, and that's what I'm doing. Wonderful. Do your thing. Fight your fight. Go for freedoms and justices for all. Absolutely. My recommendation is there's a, like, for example, white folks. I have noticed some have a tendency to, when presented with, the situation is like this because, and a finger is pointed, my people tend to go, and no, and blah, and talk about it, and engage, and my recommendation is not to. My recommendation is, I mean, if you want that game, go for it. That's not my game, personally, at all. I don't have any desire to engage. I'll definitely acknowledge and validate and encourage a person to play whatever game they want. It's really fine with me. Grant beingness. But to engage and fight is like, okay, well, now you're in the fight. That's on you, because now you're assigning cause to another person who's assigning cause to these things, and so you are now assigning cause to those things. Right? So this poem, Painted Mass, why then is this symbolized upon the human face? It's because of us. That's my answer. That is why. It's symbolized because we go, well, I feel this way, or I've observed these injustices, or I've lived this experience, or I've been blamed for things, right? And so now I don't want to be blamed. I won't be blamed, and how dare anyone do it, and I must tell them they're wrong. Or I must propitiate and go, yes, I am this way, and I please forgive me for being in the position I'm in, and what can I do to make amends? And okay, good, you want to play that justice game? Put your hat in the ring, go for it. For me, most games in our planet and society are really low order games. They're really just fights and kind of craziness and bad feelings and upsets. And a person might go, well, there are upsets. Okay, go for it, engage the upsets. I think that when you have a problem and you come up with a solution, it becomes tomorrow's problem. You don't solve problems. You make them vanish. Anyway, getting a little too deep in the woods, and this video is about Danielle's poem, so I want to leave it at that. But I in looking it over, I had my own thoughts and commentary on how I engage the subject of race, and I guess how I would encourage others. I would encourage others one of two ways. If you love that subject, engage full on. You do you. If you don't really like that subject, don't engage. No matter the invitation, right? You're being invited into a boxing ring. If you don't like it, don't engage at all, right? So anyway, food for thought. Love the video. Thank you, Danielle. Again, that was Painted Masks by Danielle Matesich, and it was beautiful.